I'm Kristin with the Rogers Public Library, and this week for Quilled Creations we are going to be making an elephant. So in your craft packet you'll have 1 strip of pink paper and 4 strips of gray paper and 2 little bitty googly eyes. And I will show you how to make it. So to begin, we're going to take our pink strip and we're going to cut it in half and then cut those 2 halves in half to make 4th strips. And we'll take our first piece and slide it into the little slot on our quilling tool and roll it up into a circle. Once it is rolled up, we can let it go and remove it from our tool. And then we'll go ahead and seal it up right at that size from when it first comes off our tool. We're going to leave that as a circle, so we can just set that aside. And then we can make another circle just like that first one. Once we have both our circles, we'll grab our 3rd piece of pink, roll it up into a circle, then we'll let it go. And this one we want to get a little bit bigger than this. So we're gonna kind of unroll it just a bit. If you just hold the very center of it and just kind of unroll it, I like to call it fluffing it up, and it makes it a larger piece. So once it's to a size we like, we're going to seal it up by putting our glue on the end and then pressing it gently against the rest of the roll. And then we're going to pinch this into a half circle. So we're going to place our fingers on 2 edges across from each other and then pinch both of them slightly. And that is going to give us a nice little half circle. And this will be one of the elephant's ears. So we'll make another one just like this. Once we have both of our half circles, we can take one of our gray strips. We're going to roll this whole first strip up into a big circle. Once this is rolled up to a nice fat circle, we're going to let it go. Remove it from our quilling tool, and then we can go ahead and seal it up. And this one is also going to just stay a circle. And this will be the elephant's head. Then we can set that aside. Take a second full strip of gray and roll it up into a large circle, which we are going to turn into the main part of the elephant's body. Once that's rolled up, we can let that go as well. And then we can make it a little bit larger if we want to, or keep it just the size it was. Either way will be fine. Then we're going to seal it up. And then once it is sealed up, we're going to do the same thing we did with the half circles, except not to make the whole thing a half circle. We just want to pinch a little bit at the top to make a flattened edge here. So just grab 2 little spots and pinch. And then we have kind of a vase shape for our elephant body. Next, we're going to take another strip of gray, and this one we're going to cut into thirds. So I just kind of fold it until I have 3 about equal pieces, and then cut both edges. And for our first one, we're going to roll it up into a circle, and then we're going to make it into a little rectangle. So once it's rolled up, we let it go. We can leave it just about the size it is, seal it up, and then we're going to pinch diagonally across both directions. And that gives us a little square or a rectangle depending on how far you pinch it. That will be one of our elephant's legs. So we're going to make another one just like that. Once we have both of our legs, we can take this final third piece from that strip, roll it up into a circle, and then we're going to turn it into the elephant's trunk. So once it's rolled up, we'll let it go. And then we can go ahead and seal it up. And then we're going to start with a teardrop shape. So we'll just grab a spot and pinch. And then we're going to kind of pinch along most of it so that we're giving it a little elongated teardrop shape. And then we're going to just kind of press that tip around the end of our finger to give it a little curved teardrop shape. And that will be our elephant's trunk. Now with our last piece of gray, we will cut it into fourths. So I'll cut it in half and then cut those halves in half. And then we're going to wrap these around our pink pieces. So we're going to start by either putting some glue on an edge of a pink piece or directly on the gray. Either way, I'm going to stick them together and then just wrap our gray strip around the pink. You can go ahead and pinch along the edges where the pink is pinched so that we get the fold and it stays fairly tight around it. And then when we get to the end, we'll just go ahead and seal it up. So there we have a completed ear. So we'll do the same thing for our other ear. And then once both the ears are done, we're going to do something similar but not exactly the same for our pink circles. So for these, we want to wrap them, but we want to do it a little bit more loosely. So we'll start out the same way. But then once we go around that first time wrapping it up, then we want it to be a little bit looser. So we're not going to press it quite all the way, pulling it super tight as we roll it. We're going to let there be a little bit of space in between the layers so that we get a little more space to be able to shape the gray part that goes around the pink. So we'll seal it up. So then you can see there's a little bit of space in here, so we have some room to shape it. So we're going to pinch a little bit, and we're gonna try and just pinch the gray, but if you get some of the pink, that's all right too. I'm gonna start with a teardrop, and then to either side of our point, we're gonna try and make small points also, so that we end up with a little foot pointed out, where it has these 3 little points here. So I'll show you again with our next one. So again, we'll start wrapping it up tightly around the first go around. Then I'm gonna hold the pink on both exposed ends and kind of just gently roll the gray around so that it leaves a little space, a little wiggle room in there for the gray. Then I'll seal it up when we get to the end. And then we start with our teardrop pinch. I see with that one I got a little bit of the pink, but that's okay. And then we'll put our fingers to either side and gently pinch and press up to get the curved bottom and the 3 little points at the top, kind of like a duck foot. Now we have all of our pieces and we just have to assemble them. So we'll grab our background and we'll pick our spot that we want to add our elephant. And you can put it anywhere on here. I'm going to start with the body and put some glue along all around the back of it. And just pick a place. I think I'll do it right over here, kind of in front of this tree. All right. So once I have the body on, then I'm going to grab the head and add some glue to the back of our head. And then I will place that down so that it connects to the body right at this overlap right here, at the neck that we made by pinching that flat part of the body. Next, we can grab our little ears, and we're going to add some glue to the back of them as well as to the flat side. And that little flat side will connect right on the side of the head. And we'll put one on each side of the head. There we have our little elephant head and ears and body. Now, our little kind of duck-shaped feet, we're going to add next. So put some glue along the back of them. And then if you want to, just a little bit of glue right on the side. And we're going to put those right at the bottom of our elephant's body to either side. Kind of like he's sitting with his feet just propped out in front of him. So one on either side. There we go. Then our other legs, our little squares or rectangles, are going to go as a second layer, kind of on top of the elephant's belly. And then our trunk is also going to be a second level piece. So we'll put some glue across the back of it. And then with the rounded end at the top, we're going to put it down so that it overlaps both the head and the body. So the rounded end of the trunk comes up into the headpiece and the point goes down across the body. And then the last thing we have to do is just add our little itty bitty googly eyes here. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of glue and then pick a spot to place down my eyes. And then we have our completed little elephant. And this completes our whole safari scene. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week to start a new spooky scene for October. Bye.